hoping to find more information about why sleazy PI Carlos Maldonado has been keeping an eye on my place leads me to a swanky beach house where I'm delighted and surprised to meet an incredibly beautiful woman inside a home medical office. Unfortunately for me, the feeling is not mutual, and she's accompanied by a very lethal friend.
Freeze. What are you doing here?
Well, we had such a charming conversation on the vidphone, I knew I had to meet you. Now I'm rethinking that.
You don't remember me, do you?
Well, I wish I did. Does that count?
We met just once, years ago. So did you really come here looking for me? Or are you here for Mason?
I'm sorry. The correct answer is C, all of the above. I came here to find you, but it's Mason I'm looking for.
Well, you'll have to make do with me. Mason isn't here.
So how do you know Mason?
In the biblical sense, I'm his wife, Ariel Bowers.
When was the last time you saw him?
Over a month ago.
No kidding. A wife like you, I'm surprised he ever leaves the house.
We've been legally separated for over a month. He has issues, erratic behavior, periods of deep depression. It got to be too much.
Psychological problems, huh? What are we talking here? He ties a shoe for an hour, or he walks into Burger Barn with dynamite in his pants?
I think it was just a reaction to stress. His work kept him away for weeks at a time.
So I heard your husband was a neurologist, like a brain surgeon or something.
Or something, yes. He worked in neurochemistry, how chemicals influence neural operations.
So who's he working for now?
Mason never talked about his work, even before we separated. But we stayed in touch. This was the longest he ever went without calling me. I got worried and came here. I found Maldonado's number and called to see if he knew anything.
Yeah, well, Maldonado's not going to be able to help us much because he's dead. Is that who you were coming to see on Chandler Avenue?
Yes, that's right. What happened to him?
Well, I'm not sure, but I'm trying to find out. But the trail seems to lead through your husband, who, by the way, I believe has been abducted.
Abducted? Now I'm worried sick. What are we going to do?
Well, to start with, if you could think of anything that could help me out here to find him, that would be a big help.
I will. Feel free to look around here. I wish I could stay and help, but I'll give you my number so you can call me later. And sorry about the gun to the head thing.
Oh, it's okay. I've just got one of those faces, probably look better with a hole in it.
I have my doubts about Ariel Bowers' motivation. She certainly seems to have an agenda which includes more than just her husband's well-being. What's she up to?
Hubba, hubba. Whew. Is it hot in here, or did my internal fan just crash?
Well, it feels like I'm being... You'd need a PhD to understand any of these books.
You have a fax.
Well, I wonder what's on this little device. If I found a flash drive, I could...
Long-lasting memories are created through a process of consolidation, which is based on the formations of protein in the brain. Thus, memories, particularly painful ones, are formed by these unstable proteins, making them easily identifiable and removed with a combination of drugs and behavior therapy, ensuring memory elimination. Of course, there are those who do not believe that the benefits of memory modification outweigh the risks. They warn that eliminating memories, one could significantly alter a person's personality, their history.
You have a fax.
Oh, a fancy device that wipes your memories. Useful technology. I see applications for anyone who ever went out with you or read the Twilight series.
Come on. Little mercy here for the victim, all right? Why would Bowers want to erase my memory?
A fax.
Looks like Carlos Maldonado was trying to get a hold of Mason about someone named Margaret Leonard. This, nothing I can use. Maldonado was tracking down... Yoink. I'm sure these MRI pictures are... Looking at medical posters always gives me the heebie-jeebies. Just looking at this gives me an icky feeling. This petri dish is encrusted with all sorts of gunk. I'll need to clean it off to see what's underneath. Sulfuric acid can be very useful in cleaning chemistry equipment.
I gotta admit,
Something very tiny is written at the bottom of this petri dish. I'll need some. That's something tell. Nothing I can use. lots of cash. Usually a sign of illegal activity. Pawn Weekly may be even sadder than that Cat Weekly magazine. Looks like Bowers was interested in some Nikola Tesla artifacts from Rook's pawn shop. I better drop by the barbecue joint and see how that dweeb Mojo's doing.
Maybe he's decrypted that memory stick.
Yeah, about time, too. I need a new lead on this case.
Phone message waiting. Phone message.
We need to talk.
Oh, do we have to, really?
Yeah, trust me, you may be involved in what happened to me.
Oh, the very thought makes me giddy.
I knew you'd be pleased to hear that. But it's all tied to items of Nikola Tesla and a man named Mason Bowers.
Well, it's true. It's true I've had some very rare Tesla items in my possession from time to time, but I have never heard of this Mason Bowers.
Do you know Carlos Maldonado?
Well, of course I know that wretched swine.
Tell me how he ties into Tesla.
Well, Maldonado tried to bribe and threaten me to reveal my source of my Tesla items, but I didn't give it to him, and I won't give it to you. Do you think Maldonado was the one watching you?
I think so.
Oh, my, that could be troublesome. I need to make some inquiries. Is there anything else? Like I always say, you can take a bum out of a dumpster, but you'll never get a dumpster out of a bum.
So, your memory stick's all ready to go. Now, what do you give me for it?
Excuse me?
You think I'm going to solve your case for free just because you're my idol? No, the great Tex Murphy wouldn't lift a finger without compensation. Neither will I.
Well, I was going to offer you a very special junior detective badge.
I don't want some stupid little orphan Annie ring. I want a memento from one of your cases. Something one of a kind.
I don't have anything like that. My apartment's practically empty. Even if I did, how do I know what's on the memory stick is even worth anything anyway?
You know how your cases always have 100 loose ends, and you need that one missing piece to tie it all together?
It's not always like that.
This could be that one missing piece. Mr. Murphy, you need this.
Fine. Name your price.
Do you remember that sicko who was going around with a liquid nitrogen freeze gun, shooting people and then smashing them? The press called him the Nitro Stalker. You got involved, and the cops finally found him a few weeks later, smashed into 1,000,000 pieces.
Damn. I really am a badass.
Everybody knows you were behind that bit of freeze-dried justice. The freeze gun was never found, and I'm betting you took it. I'll trade you the memory stick straight up for it.
Yeah, but I'm guessing that you have no idea where this freeze gun is. Yeah, I thought so.
Don't know.
I wonder who'd know about that stupid freeze gun around here.
Well, if it isn't Mr. Van Winkle. What is it I can help you with, Rip? The freeze gun? The one you pawned that supposedly belonged to the Nitro Stalker? I believe it was purchased by one of those vigilante Morlock hunters.
We beseech thee, give us strength,
Courage.
protection. Hail, fellow countrymen. We are ready to begin our quest.
Hunting the dreadful night beast. Make haste.
Sorry, Tex, we gotta run.
Farewell, Sir Larry, Curly, and Moe. I'll be sure to tell Snow White you're gonna be late for breakfast.
Ooh, now this place is cool. A nerdy 7th grader's paradise.
Yeah, every weapon you'd ever need to be a level 85 World of Warlord chieftain. It's a key to a padlock. I wonder what this key opens. Padlocking the fridge is for extreme... It's a padlock key for a refrigerator. For extreme...
My God. You know what that is? It's the Cup of the Carpenter. It's from the Holy Land Toys collection by Robco. Batteries not included, a $10 value.
This needs a key. It's a padlock key.
I see they put Rusty's zip line back in place. How convenient.
No way! A freeze gun? This is definitely your coolest case ever.
No pun intended.
With freeze guns, the puns are always intended. Are you familiar with the work of Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Please, have mercy.
I'm afraid my condition has left me cold to your pleas of mercy.
I'm gonna find a way to turn you off, I swear.
You're not sending me to the cooler. Cool party? Fine, I'm done.
Thank God.
Allow me to break the ice. My name is Freeze. Learn it well, for it is the chilling sound of your doom.
Let's just get this thing back to Mojo. A freeze gun? Could it get any more geeky?
You got it, didn't you? The Nitro Stalker Freeze Gun. So cool. My internet group is gonna be so jealous.
Fine. I'll tell you what. You say one word about this to anybody, and I'll deflate the tires of your wheelchair. I'm in enough trouble with the cops.
Fine, okay, I won't say anything. Threatened by Tex Murphy. This is so cool.
Merry Christmas.
We may only get one chance, Carlos, so I wanted to go over the plan one more time. If Margaret shows up at the Ritz, call me immediately. If I'm delayed, detain her. We have to assume she won't give up the egg voluntarily, but I want to talk to her first. You know why I've given you the cryo chamber, but that has to be the very last resort. And if anything happens to me, I'll need you to contact a friend of mine. Keep it safe until I retrieve it.
Well, it sounds like Mason and Margaret had a major disagreement. I need to locate both of them and get to the bottom of this. I decide to head back to my office to sort things out.
Hey, cowboy. Any memories coming back yet?
Not so far, but something tells me I might be missing out on some really good ones.
That's solid detective work.
So... were we dating?
Dating? Oh, that's so cute. I guess you can call it that. But we were also working together in a more professional capacity.
Well, now my detective skills are picking up a little sarcasm.
Seriously, cowboy, you're good. I've learned a lot working with you the past couple weeks.
Let me get this straight. You and I were working on a case together? Do you mind telling me about that?
Not at all. You wanted a list of tenants here at the Ritz as far back as I could go.
Why would I do that?
It was your dreams. They were vivid before, but they were getting out of control. It's almost like they were changing you into someone else. You talked about seeing things from the past, but you wouldn't give me details. You were incredibly stressed. It was like you actually believed this apartment was haunted. You even started looking into psychometry.
Psycho what?
Psychometry. It's the belief that an object can contain a person's energy or memories.
So, not only am I an amnesiac, but I'm a paranormal idiot. Great.
Sounds crazy, I know. But then we found out about Donnelly.
Who?
J.T. Donnelly. It was the most bizarre thing. I'd heard you mention the name in your sleep. But then, his name turned up when I checked out the previous tenants.
So who is this guy?
He's a private investigator, a real old school brute. He worked for some powerful, influential people, but then he disappeared around 1943. His last known address was here.
San Francisco.
No, here, at the Ritz in this exact apartment.
Okay, that's a little bizarre.
It gets bizarrier. You called me one night, raving like a lunatic, saying the walls were talking. I rushed over and found holes smashed in the wall, and you curled up on the floor in a ball.
Well, I'm glad to hear I haven't changed that much.
You wouldn't tell me what had happened, but after that, you wouldn't sleep here. That's when you got your new place and started to sleep there.
Hold on. I have another place?
Yes, you do. And it's even nicer than here.
This is all crazy. I think I'm gonna sleep here tonight just to see whether it affects me in the same way.
Do you want some company?
Listen, Taylor, I'm beginning to see what the other me saw in you. But in my head, it's still 2043. I've got to tell you, there was somebody else.
Chelsea, I know. I know how much she meant to you, Tex. Losing her was traumatic as hell for you. But she's gone. And there's nothing you can say or do or don't do that's gonna bring her back. Do you feel that?
I sure do.
I'm alive. And that's my heart. It's yours if you want it. And it comes with all the other bits.
I'm sorry, Taylor, but I love Chelsea, and I never even got the chance to tell her. And if there's any chance that I can find her, I've got to do it. I hope you'd understand.
I don't understand, Tex. Why can't you let this go? It's crazy. That room you have across the hall with all our stuff is like some sick Chelsea shrine. I'm sorry I shouldn't have said that. I'm gonna go.
6 hours later, the rain was finally letting up. Last night felt like a blindside punch to the face. I didn't think having Taylor walking out of my office could be so painful. There's just something reassuring and comfortable about her, but I've got way too many questions, yearnings, and guilt not to find out what happened to Chelsea. Even if it kills me, I've got to know. There's something darker than the night I'm dealing with, and it hinges on what happened that evening 7 years ago with her. As Taylor leaves, she hands me the key to a room at the Ritz she calls the Chelsea Shrine Room.
Phone message waiting. Phone message waiting.
Looks like Archie's back in town. I should check out his 3 Cards to Midnight shop and see if he knows anything.
Phone message.
According to Taylor, this opens a room here at the Ritz that has some of Chelsea's belongings. Oh, I had this door permanent. The door to my back storage room is locked. Someday, I hope to collect all of the Mike and Ike Hammer comics and place them here. Needs a key. Chelsea loved to go to Arizona. I'd like to think I was the only thing keeping her here on Chandler Avenue. I remember this thing was $14.99. Man, I spent an entire 3 months' salary on a ring for Chelsea. A reminder of the best and worst night of my life. Yeah, I remember how much Chelsea wanted to go to the Fuchsia Flamingo that night. It's Chelsea's business card for her newsstand. I didn't have the heart to tell her that print is dead. I'm here to ask you out for dinner, and I'm not taking no for an answer.
What, like a date?
No, it'd be more like 2 friends having a great meal and maybe some stimulating conversation.
I guess that'd be okay. I mean, yeah, that'd be all right.
So what are you in the mood for? You know, I heard Weenie World put tater tots on the menu.
I've got a better idea. Why don't you let me make you dinner at my place? It's cheaper than going out. And besides, I have something I'd like to talk to you about. Let's say 8 o'clock?
Well, you talked me into it, Miss Bando.
Well, I feel so spoiled.
By the way, what should I bring, red or white?
You better bring both.
It's funny how fashion cycles circle around. It's a picture of me and my would-be girlfriend Chelsea Bando. I've got a gut feeling she's out there. Chelsea always looked great in hats. I know Chelsea and I will always have Weenie World tater tots. It's a picture of Chelsea. These are all Chelsea's belongings. When the police closed her case, I must have picked up these items from her apartment. Archie Ellis is my herbal tea-loving, source for all things alien, supernatural, conspiracy theorist. Or he's just plain crazy. He ran into some trouble with the NSA on my last case. Last I knew, he was hiding out in some tropical locale with a bevy of beauties. I'm surprised he's back in town.
Hey, Murphy, how you doing? You okay? I heard you were having some kind of amnesia. You know, most alien abductees always have some sort of memory loss. Whoever gave me this lump on my head wasn't some midget alien. No offense. Hello, aliens? We all know they have long arms. Yowza! You really back off, man, because I swear I will shoot the next person who tries to touch this, okay?
Okay, I'm sorry. Ouch. Ooh. So, I guess you do need some catching up then. A few months ago, I moved back here from the islands and I opened up this place. And I was hoping that you and I could hang out together like old times, but you haven't been around much.
So I haven't come by with the traditional welcome back fruit basket? I have turned into a bastard.
Sounded like the same Murph to me, making jokes and putting your cigarette out in my herbal tea before I'm done with it.
So, have you heard anything about what I was working on before the aliens got me?
Not yet, but you know I'm always ready to be Robin to your Batman. Without the homoerotic undertones, of course.
Sorry, Arch, but it's a package deal. If you're gonna be in this with me, you're gonna have to be in all the way.
You had me going there, Murph.
Okay, Boy Wonder, I need you to enter 2 names into the Bat computer. Mason Bowers, Margaret Leonard.
Well, I don't know about Mason Bowers, but Margaret Leonard, she's connected to one of the greatest mysteries of all time. I mean, you know who Nikola Tesla was, right?
Nikola. The cough drop?
Nikola Tesla was a genius. Probably one of the greatest geniuses ever. I mean, it was Tesla, not Marconi, who was the true inventor of the radio. He invented a Tesla coil, the AC electricity, remote control. He even pioneered cryogenics.
So are we almost to the part about Margaret Leonard?
Right. Well, Tesla died in 1943 when the FBI just swooped in and confiscated all his papers and designs. Then in about 2012, all this stuff, the Tesla cash just disappeared. And you want to know who the #1 suspect was?
Margaret Leonard.
No, an FBI agent named Charles Johansson. Now, I know they could never prove that he did it, but then he quits the FBI and joins some Tesla fanatic group called the Tesla Legacy Society, a group dedicated to making the world better through technology. And that's where he meets
Margaret Leonard.
Bingo! They fall in love, they get married. I think they even had a kid together.
So where's Margaret now?
Not a clue. Johansson died a couple years later, cancer, I think. After that, Margaret just dropped out of circulation.
So all this happened, what, 37 years ago. I mean, no one's found the Tesla cash since then?
It's one of the great mysteries, the lost inventions of Nikola Tesla.
What's the big deal with the Tesla inventions? I mean, there must be some reason they were never made.
Oh, you ever hear of a little thing called Tunguska?
Have I ever? Picked up a bad case when I was down in Mexico. It's where I learned the phrase, Baños rapidos, ándale muchachos, vámonos!
Oh, Murph, you're too funny. You know, in 1890s, Tesla conducted an experiment and created a resonance frequency. You know, like a big vibration, and it nearly took out a whole chunk of New York City. And then in the 1900s, he began to work on what he called a teleforce beam. The press called it, a death ray, cooler name. But a few years later in Russia, remote area called Tunguska, something caused an explosion 1,000 times greater than the atomic bomb.
1,000 times greater than the atomic bomb 40 years before we invented it?
But that was the last anyone ever heard of the death ray. Tesla never got funding. Instead, they made him out to be some crackpot, and he was broke for the rest of his life. Some people think the plans for it were part of the Tesla cash. Just think how much someone would pay to get their hands on that. And I'll never forget what you did tipping me off before that whack job NSA guy could get me. Seems nice. You know me, Murph. Always up for an adventure. As long as I don't have to go anywhere. You like my shop? Kind of like my old one, the Cosmic Connection. But I had to change the name in case, the The NSA and all that. I eat at the brew and stew all the time. I actually wouldn't mind forgetting a few years of my own life, mostly my teenage years. Yeah, oh, that's the Hollow Babe at the Golden Gate. Yeah, Mojo is warm for her form, or lack thereof, as it were. He's not very friendly, is he? My little buddy Mojo works over there. We hang out a lot, but I can't stay there too long. Something makes my eyeballs burn. Gosh, you'd think a sidekick would be a little more helpful, huh? Don't know about that. Donnelly's kind of a mysterious character. He was a private detective Tesla may have hired not long before he died. There's a mention of it in one of Tesla's letters. No, both aliens and ghosts can communicate through their dreams. It's a proven fact. I've been checking my sources, but no one's heard a thing about her in years. He died like 40 years ago and either left the Tesla cash with Margaret Leonard or somebody else, or he took it to the grave. The Tesla cash is right up there for me. Oh, and the death ray? Well, the name says it all, doesn't it?
As I leave, Archie hands me an old photograph of Margaret Leonard. Maybe someone else on Chandler will recognize her from the picture.
Hey, Tex. How's your case progressing? Sorry, I don't know a lot of people, except the ones that come in here.
Yeah, the Golden Gate Hotel was so famous they named a bridge after it.
If you were looking for me earlier, I wasn't here.
Well, it's not like you're gonna just sit around here waiting for me to ask questions, right?
Yeah, that wouldn't be very realistic, would it? So what can I do for you?
You recognize the woman in this photo?
Oh, nice. I think I saw her in a playbook from 1996. Is this your girlfriend?
Well, now, if she were my girlfriend, I wouldn't be trying to figure out who she was now, would I? Sheesh.
I'm just kidding about this woman being your girlfriend. She's actually mine. No, I'm kidding again. This is Margaret Leonard. She's had a room here at the Ritz forever. She used to live here, but I haven't seen her in years. So, she may not be here anymore, but she auto-pays her rent. So it's all good.
Any chance you can get me into her apartment?
Not a chance in hell. I let her install her own security system, just like you, except hers is a real one. I can't tell you which apartment it is, but you won't get in without a passcode or a personal invitation. Maybe I could try to help you with something else. All I know about her is she's got a room here. I hardly ever see her, so I don't know when she's here and when she isn't. I'll bet she was something back in the day. Way back in the day.
I've been thinking, Murphy, perhaps I should confide something to you.
Oh, this should be good.
Well, you believe Maldonado is spying on you, but it could have been someone else.
Not Margaret Leonard by any chance.
How did you know?
Do the words P.I. mean anything to you?
Margaret may be in grave danger. I've tried to contact her, but to no avail.
Gosh, if only we knew someone with some detective skills. Do you know how to get into her apartment?
No, but she may have left a clue. Some time ago, she left this in my care. It's for you.
For me?
She wanted you to have it in case anything happened. I met Margaret years ago. She was a woman of secrets. I have an interest in Tesla collectibles, so yes, I've heard of it. And no, I don't know where you could find it. I met Margaret years ago. She was a woman of secrets.